Welcome to You Change the World on these different channels of social media and podcasts. I will not list them, but will ask you one favor, is to subscribe on YouTube. That's one of them. And subscribe, comment, if you can also, for whatever you are learning or you're listening to, you agree, you disagree. Please share. Share your comments and your opinion. This is really very appreciated. Today we want to talk about something very sensitive in the lives of everyone, not only the ones who are going to the workforce, the managers, the leaders, the influencers, people who have impact on someone else don't have to be leaders. They just have impact. They have impact on their friends, on their community. They have impact on their children, on their parents. They have impact on their siblings. Impact on every single interaction that you have, making the moment meaningful. Can you imagine? I think that's the secret sauce for the time to slow down, is to make it meaningful, is to make it intentional as much as possible. I'm entering that space of time, which includes the space of the location, which includes the people around and all the surrounding, the decorum, everything that's going to influence your presence, your well being, and your authenticity. Support you to be the best of yourself. Isn't that the coaching topic? What I need coaching for is this sense of getting this quality time. I need coaching to stop being afraid of time passing by so quickly. Stop being upset to watch the news that is really so misleading. Any channel, any news, any ownership of those news, it's amazingly biased. But beside the biased aspect of the news, there's another aspect. It's the superficiality. The more we go, and different cultures do it differently. I live in the US, so I can talk about the US culture. As I come from Europe originally, and I go there pretty much often, I can also talk about the European culture. They're all different cultures. And cultures also call for adaptations, adaptability. So, what do I want to get to? I want to get to the quality of time and to change your pace. And it's not an advice. As you know, coaches don't advise. It's not prescriptive. I often say that because I just want to make sure you understand. I'm just sharing experiences from my clients, from the people I coach, and sometimes my own. But definitely, it's an experience. It's a choice. This is definitely a choice, and we are all free to make our choices. How do we use the time that we have, and how do we make it meaningful with all the people and all the interactions that we have in one day? If we are awake for 12, for 15 hours a day, for 20 hours a day, for those who don't speak much or are workaholics or are have you know insomnia, but whatever that is, you've got a good number of hours a day when you're awake, you're conscious, and you can do a lot to feel accomplished, to feel that I achieved something. There's about three or four metrics I want to use for this few minutes together. The metrics of time, one metric, time, time. And I saw the other day, someone close to me showed me an interesting application on the phone. It's a bell. I don't know the name of it, but that bell can only ring the number of times you want that to ring to mark the time, to make sure that you know that from one bell to the next bell, and look for it, you'll see it's there. You did something meaningful, purposeful. You had an impact. You did something that was really good for you and for other people. And then you can introspect if this was not the case, if you did not feel that way, if you feel that you wasted that time, or because we're all entitled to, you just chilled, relaxed, made a vacuum of time. If it's meditation, if it's just talking to a dear one, If it's to spend time with a child, your child, play, have a meaningful moment, undivided time with and attention to one child that was going to really remember, because children value the time much better than we do the adults. So I just want to say there's a lot of noise out there. There's a lot of disruptions and disconnections. So I think the essence of practically every aspect of coaching that I'm dealing with every day for people is really that particular sense of purpose. That if you disconnect from that sense of purpose, if you did not define it ahead of time, if you're not intentional about it, then obviously you're not responsible for that time coming up, for that minute coming up, for those few seconds coming up. I decided to come here to that red microphone and speak to you like I do every week for 10, 15 minutes today, usually 30 minutes when I have a guest, especially, to just address you with a thought, an experience, something to try to share that might have an impact on you, positive impact, obviously, inspiring impact, obviously. That's my intention for this time that I spend here with you. I hope it's meaningful. I hope there is a few takeaways for you. And I have takeaways just by talking about it, because while I'm doing this, I'm reflecting on my day or the last session I had with a client. Amazing. Sometimes when I do mediation, and I have a couple in front of me because it's a divorce, for example, and I'm the middleman to try to bring those two parties to an agreement. And it's amazing. There is a lot of fiber there that looks like coaching. Like in coaching, when there is a conflict, a confrontation, I feel the same. I feel there is a fiber of mediation that I'm using there. That's why, in fact, I chose to do both, not divorce. Divorce came to me as a topic because I don't know why. It's the way it is. I had a very good friend. He advised me and he said, you know what? You should really do a mediation in divorce. You'll be good at it. I said, me, in front of people yelling at each other, I'm going to be good at? you know, but I'm not doing too much of those because I have a tendency to be emotional, and divorce is very ugly most of the time. So, and emotionally involved. But I'm a mediator, and when I'm a mediator, I'm a mediator. And I make of this time the best I can do to bring those parties together, to make them communicate clearly, not to allow them to make interpretations, not to allow them not to listen to the other opinion, but to inspire them to do so. So that's the purpose. I had this intentionally. I took a white piece of paper for myself or a clipboard and wrote on this clipboard on two columns the demands, the requests of one partner and the other partner, or if it's a business partnership, or if it's a couple, the husband, the wife, two columns, what the wife wants, what the husband wants from this separation. And then we can go on this. You said that. You see, I wrote it down and you agreed for what I wrote a few minutes ago. So now you cannot contradict yourself. It's there. The moment is important, meaningful. I want to be thorough. I want to ask questions like a coach does, open questions. I want to listen to those questions very carefully, very active listening, right? Showing that I'm listening to the people who talk. This way, they are responsible for what they say because there is a recipient. I'm listening. We are sometimes too. We can be witnesses. We can testify that this has been said or this has been done. Every single moment is full of meaning, full of different things and details. You take a microscope, you see zillions and zillions of things happening in 1 minute, in 1 second. Amazing. That's the world work in those dimensions, from microscopic and microscopic to giant, huge, to the space, to millions of miles from here, and zillions. So it's infinite. The capabilities we have, the potentials we have in front of us. What I'm trying to say here in a very simple way is that time can be managed by us with a choice. When we know ourselves a little bit, we know what pace we need to understand something or to address something. When we evaluate what we need to spend the time on now, if it's to read a contract, if it's to meet someone, to resolve a problem, I have to allocate the time for it. That's a decision you need to make. If you're alone, good. If you are two, you need to agree on this time allocation. Whatever it is, the time that you're going to spend, quality time that you're going to spend, meaningful time, purposeful time, is about connecting. This is really the whole point I'm trying to make today. Connecting requires different things. Know why you're going to spend that time, what you want for, what do you want from it? What do you want from this as an outcome, or how you bring yourself to it? That's executive presence, or it's presence, period. It's going under the spotlight. It's being responsible for a perception that you are going to create on people, an impact, an influence on people. That's what people want. I'm an introvert. I can't talk. I hate to speak in public. I can't make a presentation. I'm frozen. I'm scared. These VPs, SVPs, all the big guys in the room intimidate me. I'm frozen, paralyzed. Okay, but if I think about it, I'm coached on it. I practice something that is authentic about me, and I get the comfort level that I need. For me, the introvert, the paralyzed one, when I'm in front of those high stake guys, need more time to prepare, to practice, versus what? Versus who? This person who's very fluent, very comfortable speaking in public, very aware when he's under or she's under the spotlight that they have an impact on their audience, and they know which impact they have because they prepared. They were intentional about it. You see, we all need our portion of time, and we need to be prepared for it and evaluate it properly. And I'm going to make a last point, a last one, because that's an introduction today. It's what you want to make of that time in terms of, the magnitude of the outcome you want. If this is very serious, purchasing a house, getting married, signing a marriage contract, buying a car, visiting a sick person in the hospital, and bring that person comfort, hope, warmth, love. How much time do I allocate to this thing that I'm planning to do? We'll talk about things that are coming to you and you are, in a way that you did not predict. So then we'll see. You also can evaluate in the moment, but we're not in the moment right now. Today, I'm trying to invite you to think about connecting yourself to this purpose for the time coming and allocate the time that is fitting your character, your situation. You adapt and you allocate the time you need. You don't rush. It's funny, when I watch news or I watch an interview on YouTube, for example, there will be always this sentence that the anchor is going to say, like, tell me this in 30 seconds. Why? Because there will be an advertising cut or there will be the end, the completion of the show. It did not manage, or she did not manage the time properly, whatever. But I have always a little smile on my face when I see it and I see this. You've got 30 seconds to finish this. You have to tell me this in 10 minutes. In 10 seconds, sorry, 10 seconds, not 10 minutes. There's always this sense of the clock ticking, but it's a sense of rush, of precipitation. It doesn't fit everybody. You want to know something about me? I feel rushed most of the time. I need time. This is my pace. That's not that I'm slow, but maybe I'm a little bit thorough. Maybe I want to do this right. Maybe I want to connect to that person. It will take some time for that person to trust me, at least to trust me for whatever we are discussing, whatever we meet for. quickly on a chemistry call, someone is going to select me versus another coach or another mediator because they trust that I'm probably the right person. That's a chemistry call. Okay, takes probably a half hour max. And that person is going to have another one and another one, maybe compare me to two other coaches and select me or not select me. But this is based on that 30 minutes. I do not prepare too much for that 30 minutes. But all I know that I have to do during these 30 minutes is to show my coaching style, to hear what the person wants to accomplish and see if I'm the right person for this. So I have to try to inspire that person to talk about goals. You want to read a book, you want to read an article. How do you want to do this? There is some rapid reading techniques, diagonal reading or picture reading, like not line by line, but like you visualize this, and it's been around for a long time, and you can read the whole War and Peace in less than 30 minutes if you want. But how are you going to grasp the essence of this book and the details? You need more time than 30 minutes to read an 800 pages book. You need more time to read an article to have an opinion. What is politics about? What is the thing that you see all the time, even with the president of any countries? They want to do things in a rush. I'm wondering how it can do this, our president here in the US, to make peace between two countries that have been fighting with each other for 3 years and say, I'm in a hurry. I want this to happen. I hope he's right. But I'm wondering, how does he do this? Maybe he started already a long time ago. That's maybe true. And that's in the back end, with a whole team of people. Now it sounds like it's going to do it now, but it has been prepared for a long time. That's my suspicion. Because I don't believe that things can happen in a meaningful way and in a successful way without taking the time. Anyway, now the time is over for me in terms of speaking to you today. I just hope I conveyed something to you. It's not to rush, it's to adapt the time, and it's to understand and be aware that it's your choice, most of the time yours, to make, to evaluate, and allocate the time like you're responsible for it. Like you're going to own that time, and like a precious stone, you don't want to lose it. You don't want to waste it. Okay? All right. Easier said than done. I agree. Have a wonderful day.